Are we on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights, cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
Trending live as well. It's Studio 899. It is our Plush Studios. You love it. Thank you very much. And also streaming live on Plus 89.9 FM. Let me say good morning to all who are logged on to the show. We are closing at 10 a.m. But if you want to catch a repeat of this show, it'll be on our podcast tonight at 10 p.m. Also catch it on YouTube. You can't afford to miss it. Anyways, before we even tell you what we're going to be talking about today, real quickly, summer is officially here and the biggest titles come alive on the big screens at the Silverbird Cinemas. Now you can catch Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse. You can catch The Flash, Transformers, Rise of the Beast, Barbie, Mission Impossible, Indiana Jones, and the finest of Hollywood, Bollywood, and Nollywood, and top quality Ghanaian movies this season at Ghana's #1 cinema franchise, and complement your movie experience with the great popcorn. They say it's Ghana's #1 popcorn. I've had a try of it. You should also try it as well. Anyway, it's the best time of the year to create and share memories with the ones you love at the West Hills Mall and Accra Mall branches of Silverbird Ghana or Silverbird Cinemas. Also jump onto their website. It's silverbirdcinemas.com / West Hills or silverbirdcinemas.com / Accra. Silverbird Cinemas, it's all about entertainment. All right, I'll fill you in on the rest later on in the show. But today on the big conversation, we're talking about crossover success, all right? The power of international collaborations. And we are honored to have one of Africa's most potent music business impresario. I like that. Thanks, Ricky, for giving us that, that literature. Bankulli, a.k.a. Abisagbola Oluseun. I hope I had the pronunciation right as well. He's a guest on our show this morning. It's an honor to have him. He's a double Grammy winner and highly honored for his role in Beyonce's African album, The Lion King, The Gift. He led one of Africa's first major international collaborations in the 2000s as well, if you remember, D'banj and Kanye West, and then Snoop Dogg as well. Years on, several Africans are finding the need and the relevance to tap into the most popular US and UK music markets. Now, today we'll get to find out how to get into the big room, or how it feels like when you're in that big room, and what it means to understand international collaborations. Our man is in the building, live on Zoom. Join us for the conversation. Bankulli, good morning. We may have to, please kindly unmute your mic for us.
Okay, I think I've done that.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to have you. For some of us who have watched you from far and the influence and the impact you've actually made on this African continent, I keep saying that there are people who need to be given their flowers whilst they're alive. We shouldn't only wait till they're dead and gone before we start talking about them and posting their pictures all over social media. For you and what you've done for African music, we can never forget. Paving the way, creating, opening the floodgates for a lot of African artists to understand the relevance and the importance of international collaborations and what it feels to be in that big room, like we were saying. So, one more time, it's an honor to have you on our conversation this morning.
Thank you, my brother. Akwaba. I hope I got that.
We'll say yeah, or yeah. We can say that. That's how we reply.
Okay. Well, I'm so honored, to hear all those compliments. I'm one of those people that I don't really take compliments, because I believe, for who God has raised, you don't have to overstretch it. Just keep doing your job, and whether people see it or not, it will count for you one day. So, and the joy that I have is connecting the dots for people. Because at the end of the day, if you look at us in the African spectrum, we have very little people that inspires the young people. You understand? You look at the politicians, the way they handle business. You see the way some of these other people handle business. It's not inspiring. So when you see your fellow African brothers, it doesn't matter where you're from, Nigeria, you have to connect the dots for them. I will tell you for free, the first time I met Virgil Abloh, I'm sure you know Virgil, right? Late Virgil. I met him in a studio session in New York, and Kanye West introduced him to me. And I was like, oh, Basil Bankulli, meet Virgil. And I'm like, he's from Ghana. I'm like, you are from Ghana? And this was like about 10 or 15 years ago. I mean,
Wow.
You're from Ghana? He said, yes. I said, you have to come to Africa. Ghana has blown up. Nigeria has blown up. Africa has blown up. And he was looking at me like, and I'm like, yeah, you have to come back. And I asked him about his story about, Ghana. And he told me, yeah, he was taken out of Ghana when he was like a baby. I'm like, no, that's not the same Ghana. Ghana is huge now. There's so much potential, creative geniuses that are out there. And I was glad that before, he passed on to glory, he was in Ghana, he was in Africa, he was in Nigeria. He interacted with a lot of, Africans as well, So it's not just one thing that Bankullis does. I believe if more than 2, 3, 4, 5 Bankullis get involved in connecting the dots, the idea is to open the market up for, round the world. You have your own talent. I know the person that can make use of it and turn it into gold, and you make money and they make money from it. What stopped me from doing that?
I can imagine, and one of the glorious moments, which is scattered all over the internet, is the story of you in that room when you were humming and Kanye heard and then called Jay-Z. I just want you to tell us how you felt in that moment. We're going to go deeper into that story and about your life, but what did it feel like when that glorious moment happened? A simple hum of a tune in a room in a studio, Kanye goes crazy about it, calls in Jay-Z, and boom, you are part of history in the making.
Well, I mean, for me, what I always tell people is that preparation meets opportunity. You have to be prepared in whatever endeavor you embark on. You have to be the best of the best, as you are one of the best broadcasters that, out there in Ghana and the rest of Africa. You must continue to oil your knowledge about what you know how to do. And so that when that opportunity comes, it doesn't come to you as a surprise. For me, it was, it's something that comes natural, I started music from age 4, and I understand what it is to create music, to produce music. So finding myself in that situation was maybe, I would say, becomes natural for me. You understand what I'm saying? So, and for other people, the way they will see, they will like, oh, you're with Kanye, da, da, da. But for me, it's like, I'm with a creator, somebody that can create like me, So, and the energy was great because it's a story that is inspiring that I always go back to, And we were in the room. The first encounter was in New York during the Watch the Throne session. And they were having problem with a particular song. I think Ilias, one of their songs like that. So I was in the room on the capacity as an artist manager, but I understand music and I can create music. I was even putting on an headphone. I was minding my business. I was watching some blogs in Nigeria, Linda Ikeji. And while I was doing that, Kanye came into the room and he said, I saw him talking, so I removed the headphone. He said, can everybody stop what they're doing? That he's going to play a song now that anything that comes to anybody's mind, he's looking for something, for the song. And I removed my headphone. My laptop was still on my leg. I was looking at them. I have no business with them. I was in the room with Don Jazzy. So I was in the room as Don Jazzy's manager. So, and he played the music. And while he played the music, I started humming the solution. I hummed it. And in the room, he quickly ran towards me with a recorder. And he was trying to record it. I'm like, no, hold on. You can't record me. I was very free, so they stopped the music. So I was now speaking in pidgin English to Don Jazzy. Ogbeni, make I do this thing because I don't want the wala. So Jazzy was embarrassed. I do it now. Bankulli, because he knows I know what I was doing. So they replayed the music and I now sang it very well properly. And they were so happy that I told them that, okay, can you do another version? I want to do another version. So I recorded another version again and the whole room went ablaze, And within 5 minutes, when the engineer was still mixing it, Kanye pick up somebody's phone and call Jay-Z. Jay, can you pull up? Can you pull up? I think we got the solution. Yeah, I was thinking that which one are you calling JJ? So in my head, I didn't know it. I mean, I didn't process it like Jay-Z. So, I mean, within 25 minutes, Jay-Z pulled up in the studio session and they played him the song and it was, I mean, it thumbs up and we hug and, and that's the beginning of the end.
Wait.
And subsequently, I worked on some other music.
Okay, all right. That story and its inspiration is big. We need to go into details in that story because, I mean, like you said, opportunity also meets preparedness. So let's go back to understand, which song was it? What did you hum? And what did it feel like to be in the presence of legends like that?
In fact, it was not just one song. There's one other song in the project called Lift Off. Yeah. On the What the Throne album. It's there. I'm on 2 tracks there. On Lift Off, we were just arriving in New York. Just think about this. We just landed. They picked us up. We got to the studio. They introduced us to everybody in the room. I think T-Pain was in the room. Mike Dean was in the room. Me and Don Jazzy. And they played the track. They just recorded the track. They're like, what can we come up with? They were like, So me and him, we started doing some background vocals and they recorded it. On that same track, there's Beyonce, there's Rihanna. On that same track, go and check the credits. There's Bruno Mars, there's Seal, there's Don Jazzy, there's me, there's Kanye, there's Jay-Z, there's Beyonce on that track. They picked all our vocals and mixed it up and turned it into something so beautiful that we are like, what kind of science is this? And for me, it's not just recording the music with them, but also putting my ears down, looking very well to learn the process. And I've been able to use that, in working with so many other people. Because at the end of the day, if you see the way we do our business when it comes to music industry in Africa, we do not majorly have like people that actually put us through, knowledge is not passed down. So most of the knowledge we have, we actually find our way to create those templates. And basically what I've been able to do is just upgrade. But now the market has opened up to the level that you're seeing Whiskey, Drake, you're seeing Davido, Chris Brown, you're seeing different collaboration, Rema featuring the Spanish lady. You understand? You're seeing Sako there, you're seeing everybody. Everybody's integrating now. The story of African music, the story of Afrobeats is totally different now. Like I always tell everybody, collaboration now is the gold mine. It's the new crude oil. It's something that is important that most artists are also embarking on. I mean, in terms of, expanding their course, expanding their fan base, expanding their sound as well.
My team has got tons of questions to ask, so let me hand over.
Senior, morning.
Don't worry, I'm here for you.
Morning.
Good morning.
So it's common practice here in Africa that, there's a hit song or there's a big song and it's just the artist and the producer who are credited. But you spoke about, walking into a room where one hit song could have 6, 7 contributors, people acknowledged, even before you get to the executive producers and those who paid all the bills and all that. You have creators, contributors, about 5, 6 people. I just want you to open up on the role that everybody plays for that significant mention to be something that has to be done, because they will tell us Beyonce's album, the number 1 single was written by 11 people. In Africa, we don't understand. 11 people wrote that one song. So I want to see, since you've been in those rooms with those big names, if you can just open it up for us and walk through with us, Senior.
You see that question you just asked is a very, 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 you see the way I said very, very good question. And I hope our creators, African musicians, producers, songwriters, especially musicians are listening to this kind of question. You see, there's an adage in Africa. They said 2 heads are better than 1. I mean, let me rephrase it again. 2 good heads are better than 1. Now, imagine you now have 10 good heads on the same project. It's not just creators, it's not just contributors, it's not just songwriters. If you go back and check Kanye West's or Jay-Z and the rest of America and even UK, if you go and check the production credit, I'm not saying songwriting credit. As far as production credit, you can get even almost about 15 or even 10 on it. Different person plays snare drum, another person plays bass guitar. You understand? The sequencer is there. The original creator of the idea will be credited. And of course, the artist will be credited if you actually produce or add to the production. I'm not talking about even the music part. I'm saying, or the singing part. I'm talking about production. So while, all this kind of arrangement and things that I've seen there and the rest of us, we've brought it into Nigerian music industry. Hence, if you go and check most of the Spotify credit that you see now, for even most African artists, you will see now that people are now leaving shame or disrespect or ego out of it. You understand what I'm saying? They're actually giving the creators, people that have helped you write your song in the studio, that doesn't have the kind of power you have. You understand what I'm saying? You see them, now they are signing them as an artist. Example, from what I know Davido just signed one of the songwriters, the one that wrote in his present project.
Yeah.
That's good. If he realized or recognized his contribution and is positive in building his own career. In fact, Davido himself is a songwriter. Davido was a producer before he even became a musician. You understand? I mean, before he became an artist himself. So for me, it is just pure ego for anybody to not be able to recognize or think about ways in bringing more machinery or bringing more advancement into production and creativity. Because at the end of the day, you are the one that your face will be in front of the song. You are the one that will chop all the credit. But it makes sense when you build those kind of solid things. On What the Throne, at least we would have had almost about close to 60 assistant productions on it.
Wow.
There are some songs that you have more than 3-4 producers.
Wow.
Don Jazzy produced and also did background vocals on some of the songs on What the Throne. Fact. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think these are stuff. I love this interview for one.
Thank you.
I've been building an idea, and the idea is to cross-market or, I'll call it cross-pollinate information among us creatives in Africa. I've created something we call Afrobeat Music Summit. And the essence of the summit is to have workshops where I can create opportunities to, to advance all this kind of information to our people. It's not just only creatives, even people in radio, people in TV. We need to continue to interact. We need to continue to have this kind of conversations so that people, our own people that are into this creativity can be comfortable like, guy, remove ego. Go and check Wizkid's essence. He did not write it alone. There is a songwriter there. You understand what I'm saying? The credit is there. But probably before now, I know years back, a lot of us in Africa, a lot of the musicians, maybe because of ego, or they do not understand how it works, or the terrain of how, the world is moving. Can one person service a car? The person that services the engine might not be able to service the tire. You understand what I'm saying? So if you have more than 10 people repairing a particular car, what are we now going to say when it comes to music that millions of people across the world, is going to be involved in?
Okay, I wanted to just tangent off that. Okay, you have had the exposure and the experience, and most of the names you are mentioning are also big names who are equally as exposed. But bringing this back to, especially, let's say, our West African industry, how has the reception been for this kind of thinking? Are people opening up more to be okay and let 2-3 people contribute to their hit, or are we still having difficulties with artists opening up? Because I can say, with confidence and experience, that in Ghana here, it's not too easy. It's not too easy to walk into a studio with a big name and say, oh, Oga, this is your track, the line they be, but if we do them like this, Charlie, go feel be better. It would be met with some restriction, some tension and some animosity. I don't know how it's like in Nigeria and how, if the young guys and the up-and-comers are also accepting this narrative you have.
Nigeria, everything has done 360-degree turn. most of the time, Nigerian artists will not go into the studio if there's no additional songwriters. There, sef. Yes, fact. And these are applicable to UK, America. So if any artist in Ghana is still working that kind of, is still playing that kind of game, you are going to shoot yourself. It's simple. Because you will see the difference. Like I said, imagine 2 good heads are better than 1. If you now have 10 good heads, what do you think will happen?
Thank you. My question is answered.
Because God has blessed each individual with their own talent.
Yeah.
You have more than 2, 3, 4 people interviewing me, and they're asking me good questions. What do you expect people back home that are listening to this program? They are going to enjoy the entire session because they will feel like, oh, wow. Oh, boy, make you tune into 3 Music TV. Now, there been they happen. Have you not been so?
So no.
Because the way where they ask their questions and the way where everything look organized, the filming, the settings, the script writers, your producers, everybody out there, everything go look blend. It go look sweet. It go make the content every gym. Have you not been so?
Be so
You understand
no.
what I'm saying? So if it for me, any musician in Ghana, I'm saying it, I'm sure it is not like that because I've seen him promise record here in Nigeria. He doesn't play with only him in the studio. He has creators. And it takes nothing away from you at the end of the day for you to give other people opportunity to be able to add value or advice. You understand? Of course, it has to be well managed in terms of there's something they call split sheet. If they've done anything or anybody has created, you note it down so that everybody knows that, okay, I write this. You two, you collect your own small percentage there, or they give you credit. If you get PRS, if you get BMI, if you get ASCAP, if you get the one that association that collects for people in Ghana, you can get your small royalties, and you will be encouraged to develop more.
Okay, please let me.
The other song, I was watching one interview yesterday. Neyo was greeting Jay-Z, and Jay-Z was not happy with Neyo. That why did you give that song away? And what was the song? Let Me Love You. He gave it to
Mario.
Mario. Mario, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Who wrote the song? Neyo. Think about that. And they asked him, how come you didn't use the song? He said, well, at that time, I was a songwriter. He wrote the song because he doesn't have a deal. He had to give it out to somebody else. And eventually, he became a superstar. So he's earning money from songwriting, publishing of that same song, and he's still writing more songs for people till date.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. So I think Africa in general, a couple of days ago we spoke to some representatives from music reps from Kenya. And it's well agreed that Africa is very enviable of Nigeria's posture when it comes to music as well as its milestones. The thing is, how can other African countries, Ghana inclusive, be able to get such opportunities? What is the equation? What is the trick? What is the code? What is the method that has been put in place so that other African countries can be able to get into rooms such as you to be able to drive such opportunities as well?
At the moment, I'm planning a summit I don't want to mention the country now, but it's in Africa.
Okay.
It's called African Music Summit. Because what you've just asked, like I'm going to say again, is a very, very good question. And it bothers me. Africa, we should be one. Yes, they shine. Nigeria is shining. Ghana is shining. South Africa is shining. Out of how many countries? I meet a lot of people from other countries. The other day I was in Sierra Leone. I was just there for my holidays, 1 week. And somehow the entire music industry there, they get to know that I was in one hotel. They all came. I was trying to teach them, to talk to them, but they wouldn't get it at that time because everybody is just looking for collaboration. But one thing I will say, you mentioned something very important. You said, what is the code? The code is, number 1, unity. Unity. Number 2 is to understand the power you have from within. If Ghana population is 25 million.
Currently 31.
The Ghanaians...
Currently 31 to 32 million.
Okay, 31. Okay. If the population of Ghana is 35 million, let us assume, what is the population of Ghanaians living in diaspora?
Mm-hmm.
If the population of Ghanaians living in diaspora, London, America, is 20 million, you have to add that 20 million to 35, and that is 55. Because all those Ghanaians living in diaspora, they always look back home. What is happening? Oh, it's a Zonto dance. Them too, they go the dancer. It means what is happening back home is influencing what is happening outside Ghana. So imagine if Ghanaian musicians are not fighting themselves, are unified in one front. It means the people in diaspora too, they will be unified in pushing it. Don Jazzy, Rema is signed to Maven Records, right?
Yeah.
Ira Star is signed to Maven Records, right? Maven Record is a business organization. They are running their business. But anytime Rema puts out music, I always post it on my Instagram page. Is Rema signed to me? No. I'm just appreciating good music. And because I posted it on my own page, Instagram page, other 3, 4, 5 people too that will like it too will put it on their Instagram page. What do you think that has done for Rema? It has increased its social media currency. So if 500 Nigerians are doing it, what do you think will happen to Rema? It will continue to get bigger. If I have done the same thing, or we have done the same thing for Wadneko, for Ira Star, for Fireboy, for King Promise, anytime King Promise release music, I always push it. I don't need to ask him because I love him and I like his music. Or Kamido, or Kwame Jime, or Sakode, or even Efia. As long as we know you and you interact with us, we will interact with you. So you can imagine every time. That's why if there's one person, me, Bankulli, I want to sit down with and talk to in Ghana, it is my brother. What's his name? What's his name?
Sakode.
No. My brother that is always angry every time.
Shatawale.
I want to sit down and talk.
See that.
Shatawale.
Shatawale is the only person I've not met. I've met everybody. You understand what I'm saying? And one thing everybody needs to know that Shatawale is talented. It is the same question you are asking that is ringing in his head. Everybody wants to open up this thing, and it is easy. It's just conversation and application of those positive advice. Because if we do not come together as one, we are going to fail as Africans. Forget that Nigeria is popping now. Tomorrow, if Nigeria no support Sierra Leone or Ghana or no support the Republic, if Nigeria now comes down with this music thing, we support each other. But as one person is going up, the other person must be going up. That's the way I see it. And I love it that the relationship between Ghanaian musicians and Nigerian musicians is very strong. And we all know.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, it is not one way. It is both ways. It is helping us both ways. As Nigerians are gaining, Nigerian artists are shining, Ghanaian artists too are shining. You understand what I'm saying? I have an artist assigned. His name is Basil. His next EP project coming out. The major collaboration on it is Kamido. I'm giving you exclusive here.
Wow.
Nobody knows. Yes. Kamido, immediately I posted out that, Basil, we are working. Kamido was one of the first people to go and follow him. Look at Kamido, already big. Going to go and follow boy that I started yesterday. And when I follow him and talk, he say, bros, I like the boy, he can sing. Because I see what happened to me when I was starting in him. We have to be our brother's keeper. I always preach about unity between the two countries, not just Nigeria and Ghana alone. For the rest of Africa, it is important we share knowledge. And the only way we can share knowledge is for us to have this kind of forum and also larger forum like a summit where we can have workshop and practically talk about solutions of what Nigerians are doing within the music sphere around the world or within Nigeria that is working that can be used. The same template can be used. It is just the human mind that needs to be set on that level.
Bankulli, We're going to resend you a new link as we'll be exhausting our time on this one. We are continuing the conversation. When we come back, I want to talk to you about what the perception that a lot of these Western countries carry that has grown so much interest for them in Africa, in the African space. But before that, well, we've been talking to Bankulli. We're just going to reestablish the connection real quickly. But every time we eat, food and sugars are trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath. Brushing your teeth every morning and night with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter gives your teeth the protection you need, leaving you with 10 times stronger teeth. Now, Pepsodent Cavity Fighter is fortified with pro-fluoride and microcalcium ingredients, sealing tiny and invisible holes in your teeth. This prevents cavities, keeps your teeth strong, and mouth also very, very healthy. Like they say, Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, maximum cavity protection, 10 times stronger teeth. 25 years of educating you to brush your teeth day and night. Now, it is recommended by the Ghana Dental Association. Guys, real quickly, what do you make of, before we get him back on the line, what do you make of the things that the insights is given, especially on the conversation about the unity?
Our personality is robbing us of our profit.
Interesting. Please further explain, break it down.
It's the way we are, that's why we are not going far. And that speaks to Africa, not Ghana. This is not Ghana bashing. But like he said, two heads are better than one. But we've constantly had this thing of anybody within my space is my competition, which is a scarcity mindset. And justly so, because we started our entertainment industry from a point of scarcity. There were not enough resources. There were not enough talent. So we all grew up thinking that anybody who steps in the space is coming to take the little resources that are available for you. But now the resource landscape has opened up. Music is no longer just about club and events and spinner. From having your song on video games, to perform in stadiums, to TikToks, to streaming revenue. Now there's a million ways you can make money from music. So there's no scarcity of revenue. So you need to get updated. The musicians need to move away from just creating the music to understanding the music industry. Then with that understanding, they will let their defenses down and say, hey, Foley, help me on this production. Hey, Serial, help me on this songwriting. Hey, Olele, help me on this. Then there's a more collective thinking.
Let me ask Olele, so how do you think we should be able to create relevance for the other people in the value chain of making music, so that the shine doesn't only necessarily sit on a musician? It comes to a songwriter, it comes to the producer. All those people as well become very important. So that if anybody is going into the music space, you do understand that you are not the only person in the conversation.
To make it very simple, once upon a time, when Becca was Becca, there was a song that, really had us in a serious chokehold. And that song was You Lied to Me. You lied to me.
With Kwame.
You betrayed my trust. Now, Becca sang that song, right? And everybody could see, or everybody understood, or everybody accepted that Becca was the vocal performer. Or I'm saying vocal performer because of what I'm going to say. But what Becca did was she always gave credit to the songwriter. And that songwriter was Akwabwa. Now, Akwabwa was not even doing music mainstream. Akwabwa was still an instrumentalist. You play for some of these people. But when that song became big, and I like the example Bankulli used about the what do you call it? I just forgot the artist's name he mentioned when he was talking earlier about the artist who was writing and later became big.
Neo.
You see, he wrote the song for Mario at the time. And then when it was time for him to shine, he came out because he was already doing the groundwork. That's the same thing with Akwabwa. When Akwabwa finally came out to be an artist, a commercial artist, they said, Pioneer, Enkasa, good beats, don't rattle, right? When Akwabwa came out of the shadows of Becca or any other person he wrote songs for, you could see the quality. The same with Kwame Eugene. Kwame Eugene wrote some of Adina's songs. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So even Miss V, so it tells you that there is a potential. There's a potential for people to put out quality work when they allow other creatives in their space. There is a potential to give you that kind of product that can live on for time, and you can always look back and say, these two people came together to give us something to munch on. But these days, what we are noticing is people live with regrets. People feel like, oh, if I give this guy a chance, he might overshadow me. But it's always the conversation. How do you let other people in and take the shine together? Because when you are shining, it's not just you as an individual. At the end of the day, you come back to the Ghana music industry.
We will speak heavily on crediting. I think Cyril asked that question, but it's a subject for a discussion internally. But we have Bankulli back on the line joining us as well. So I was putting that question to you, Bankulli, if you can see you. Yes, there you are. I was putting that question to you. Now, it's of great interest to have found you and Don Jazzy in that same space in New York City, and where opportunity met your creativity and preparation. There should be something of great interest to these Western, music legends that, of course, Africa is presenting to them. What is that thing that possibly, maybe you have found it, but what is that thing that is blinded to the rest of Africa that we are probably not seeing to aid us to be able to draw all these new markets into our space?
You see, number one thing is our natural talent.
Interesting.
Before I talk about that natural talent, I want to talk, I was listening to my brother there talking about credit. Beyonce is on tour as we speak. I'm sure you all guys, know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's performing one of the songs that I featured on with her. You want me to shock you guys?
Shock us.
Shock us.
They have to send a paperwork to me to clear so that they can use the song on our tour.
Wow.
And of course, yes, apart from being paid, that is what they call mutual respect.
Wow.
You know, it's not, I'm not using it to brag. I'm just saying it so that other creatives should understand that when we come together, when you bind together, when good heads come together, it is for the greatest of us all. Music industry money, one person cannot eat it. If one person wants to chop and die. No, the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Now, one person cook for 20,000 people? Is it possible?
No.
Even Hidabati
Even Hidabati said no.
If one person cook for 20,000 people, all of them they are toilet or some people. You see, a lot of people. If you listen very well, or you know anybody in the American music industry, especially when they say producers, if there is one producer, that the whole of America they love to work with, do you know the producer?
No.
Kanye West.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes. Kanye West is the only producer that will say Don Jazzy and Bankulli they from Nigeria, making they come and they work on projects. And I will tell you, it's working operation and you go laugh. Example, What the Throne, when we were working on What the Throne, we used an hotel called the Master Hotel in Seoul, New York. So they booked 10 rooms. Inside each room, each producer with his own setup. Wow. Producer one, if he be now only kick, you go they knock. They look for the best kick in the song. You go just I'm not asking. This is where I want to talk. Inside one room, we go just here.
Bankulli, I beg you. Let me hold you 1 second to confirm what you're saying. I think when you mentioned Kanye as one of the best producers out there, there was a song I can't remember where he was having a challenge with his drum pattern, and he reached out to Timbaland. Yeah, I saw that video. Reached out to Timbaland. That was humility.
Humility, K. It is his way of life, my brother. Let me tell you something. This thing I want to tell you, you go laugh. If I invite you, or you go with me now and we enter Kanye session, we sit down there, and he's creating. And you, Mr. Man, that he doesn't even know your name, and you added value to that creativity, and he changed everything, you will become more of his friend than me.
Wait, please.
I say 10 rooms.
10 rooms.
Imagine 10 rooms. One room, na kick. The other room, na snare drum. The third one, na hi-hat. The other one, you go just hear only bass. He spread it, and guess what? After like 5 hours or 4 hours, he will now come back. Engineer will pick your own drum that you have used, the best one you have. You will take this one, take this one. When they put it together, they play it for you. There is no how. You start crying. Imagine if production, just production, they never put voice on top. It's sounding like that. You understand? All these kind of elements, we learn it from them. Don Jazzy learn it. Look at Don Jazzy now. He has more than 10 producers signed under Maven Records.
Right.
They have so many people, so many songwriters there. So when they bring the artist, you are talented, you need other experience they put together, because at the end of the day, what they're looking for is hit song. When the hit song, and he brings 200 million naira, there's no way the songwriter no go collect name, he go collect his own percentage. Everybody they happy. Because everybody know if you become musician. It is when you do not give other people credit that you now find every nose, every rat, everybody wants to become musician. And a problem. Because it is not everybody that God called. It is not everybody. So God has called you to be a chorus singer. The day you want to try to think, say you feel you pass chorus singer, well, it's left with you and the embarrassment that you will receive. So for me, you understand what I'm saying? Yes, I can sing. Yes, I can write. Yes, I can manage people. But I am not going to say because I can do all that, yes, make I begin overdo. I will embarrass myself. You have to know the niche. I think the problem we have in Africa is that, all those knowledge from Eti Mensah, all those knowledge from Victor Waifo, all those knowledge from our greats, they are not passed down to the young ones. Where is the documentary about Ghana highlife? Where is the documentary about Nigerian highlife? All our greats that have done for us, you understand? We don't have any record than what we see. You understand what I'm saying? So our history, there is an aberration there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why me, as a person, since 7 years ago, I've been working on a documentary called Chronicles of Afrobeats. I've been in Ghana to record some of the artists there. Because you cannot talk about Afrobeats and not talk about Ghana highlife. Yes. You cannot. The highlife is one of the legs that hold Afrobeats. So you will not look at this man. Yeah, they tell you the truth. You know how many Ghana old songs we are?
Ricky.
What are you saying? So you cannot talk about Afrobeats and not talk about all those traditional genres that have been there that make us like church music. If you go to a church, you go to cry. What do you think they make you cry? Because there's an influence of high life there. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to all the songs that our boys are putting out there. Whether in Ghana, whether in Nigeria, or whatever, there is an influence, there's an element of high life music there. So, all our history are very important. When no knowledge is passed, when nobody is sitting down to have this kind of conversation, this one we are talking about now, even if now one person we listen out of the musician, it's a good thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I want us to also take it beyond this. I want to come to Ghana. I want to bring solution. Yes, a lot of my Ghanaian friends think they know the solution. They don't. They don't. Because follow who, they always make one adage. They say, follow who no road. Yes. But follow who no road, person will get updated new road. You understand? Because now, follow who no updated, the person that has an update.
Bankulli.
Because you don't say computer, then you always update software. So if you go to follow the old software, you go just fall inside gutter. You understand?
Bankulli, I wanted to find out from you. I mean, it's all good, it's all great, it's all nice.
Follow who no updated road.
Updated road.
No go enter gutter.
It's all sweet, it's all encouraging, it's all empowering. But the conversation of financing has also become a problem. I'm sure there are amazing artists out there who would really want to, make use of all these human resources that you speak of. But these days, you don't really get the free job anymore. Times are tough, times are hard. Creatives are already being taken advantage of. So it's a little bit of a blurred line. So I'm asking this because of the starting point. How do we get there and not try to beat down costs, but how do we, as what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for?
The manageable cost.
Exactly. Appreciate in value. For a young boy who's doing a song in Konongo, he's got a voice, he's got this, he's got that, but he doesn't really have, that support that you speak of. And like, for example, your new artist like this, Basil, right, who is obviously a fantastic artist and everything. He is blessed to have an institution like you, who knows how to plug him in what to do, go through the artist development and whatnot. But for some of the artists here in Ghana, they are amazing. They have great voices. They have great talents, but they don't really have these people around them. So where do they start from?
Okay, number one, what I always tell people is that I know a lot of our young people, they always say, I am talented. That I am talented doesn't work anymore.
Discipline.
You have to update that word to I am very, very, very talented. Before I came in contact with Basil, I'll just put this example there. There were like hundreds of people that were in queue before Basil. But what took Basil from behind the line to the front is because he has an extraordinary talent. Yes. I mean, everybody listening to this conversation should also realize that it is not just that I can sing alone. It comes with a lot. Even while I was still having conversation with Basil, he was doing covers. He was doing covers of other people's songs to keep his social media, to keep his mind, to keep his head going. I was not the one doing it for him. He was doing it and I was seeing it. Because with that, it shows he's committed. He's showing his hard work. A lot of people, I mean, it runs both ways. You are talented. You have to do something extraordinary for someone to recognize you. I'm not saying go and jump inside ocean or go and slap police so that when they arrest you, you think you will suffer for it. But I'm just saying that, you see, those opportunities, before any opportunities can look for you, you have to be able to be a person of value. I cannot say because I have 1 million CDs now, or sorry, I have 10 billion CDs that I can spend on music business. I will not, because of that, go and sign person because of signing sake. It will not work. Look at King Promise. If you put King Promise in the midst of Neyo, in the midst of Chris Brown, then go fear. Because I know say King Promise, he no go dull Africa. He no go dull Ghana. If he open his mouth, then too, then go say, where are you from? Ghana. Which language is this? Na Accra language be this. Because he will bring something from back home with his R&B style that will make everybody shake. The same thing with Kwame Jime. The same thing with Kiddies music. You understand what I'm saying? The same thing with Sarkodie. Jesse cannot say he go rap Sarkodie finish. Sarkodie go change that to Ghana language and I go see catch him or be the bambe. You understand what I'm saying? There's something that we have that is unique, that makes us special.
To us, yeah.
As a young artist, you must first discover that. And groom that and turn it into a weapon. So that as you do them, there's no how. Somebody must notice you. Basil was doing his covers. It was his covers that I saw, that I DM'd him that, how are you? And he looked at like this, say, okay, bros. And we became friends. I exchanged numbers. We were talking for 1 year before I even had anything to do with it.
Wow.
1 year. Because I was looking at his patience too. You don't want to have, you don't want to start a relationship with somebody that he go come to say, this man a big man or he popular. Yes, he will do everything for me. No. Since Friday that he released his song, No Sleep for Lazy Man. That's what I tell him. As I no sleep, you should not go sleep. From one people station to another. Yes. Because if you don't make them do that work, they will not appreciate it. Yesterday, he did 3 radio stations. Thursday, he's going to do 2 TV stations. And before he starts all this journey, I've taken him to TV station to teach him how to talk, how to respect media, how to expect the PR people. Look at what is going on now in Africa. You barely get interview with all these artists again. Why? Because they say Now only social media could help them. But they are deceiving themselves.
Wow.
If you do not play their own
Louder.
music again, it will affect them. If the radio no play music, it will affect radio. So there's a strategic partnership that goes on. So the development is not just they carry your money, come invest. What am I investing on? Are you somebody of value? There are so many people that can be broadcaster now. Why is it that it is only you three good people that this station pick? There's something there. You must have something special. And that something special sets you apart from the other people. No disrespect to the other people, but you must make yourself somebody of value for people to see you and say, oh, that guy is different. He's a musician, but this one get target.
Please, can you educate us a bit more about what you said with regards to radio, TV, and against digital media? Because a lot of artists carry the impression that I don't need radio, I don't need TV, I don't need print. I can do it through my social media handles. And it's a big battle now.
It's not a big battle. The thing, I mean, the way I say, this thing I'm saying, I say it to them. Number one, do they know where they on and off Facebook and Instagram? You don't know now. The person who gets Facebook will decide tomorrow, say, I don't want Facebook to operate in Africa again. What are you going to do? Or I don't want TikTok. Or American government now, America, they are trying to ban TikTok in America. Imagine they ban it and the whole entire African Union say, we don't want TikTok again. So how are you going to promote your music? You now come back and start begging you people. You understand what I'm saying? See, the way I see this thing work, it is two ways. It is from the media side and it is from the artist side. What is the problem? Somebody is not trusting each other. There's so many indifference. So for me, I will first start with from the media people first. Media need the musicians to come to their station. The musicians, they need media to also propagate their stories. Now, why is the problem? The problem comes out of, I would say, sheer ego or disrespect. Somebody feeling. And most of the time, it's not even from the artists, it's from the people that walk around them. We need to begin to have conversations. There's nothing wrong in 3M Music asking for a meeting with Sarkodie's manager. Yes, you can ask for them. How are you guys? How are you doing? We'll be seeing all the progress you guys are doing. These are the opportunities 3M Music can provide for you for your next music release. I know you share music release with other platforms around the world. 3 Music too, this is the person in charge. The moment you have your music, send it across. The moment you have your video, send it across. We're going to share some of those promotional things that you need to do for us so that we can use it to showcase you. Because see, like I said, follow who know the updated route. What you've just done is you have interacted with their ego. You've interacted with their stupidity. You've given them an opportunity for them to leverage. And the manager will go back and say, Papa, I do meeting with 3M Music people today. Those people don't change, because the same people that are in between the artist and the label, they are the ones that go there that, why is he asking you that kind of question? The artist too go say, yes, I don't want to do interview again. Who are you doing? You are doing yourself. Because even Michael Jackson, as he's not alive, he is still being spoken about on radio. They are still playing his music. His family estate are still making money. And we do not want our people to stray away. We see them. It's happening in Nigeria too. They barely come. They come home. They'll be going around enjoying. To go to radio station and do interview, it is a problem. But it is also good so that people like Basil can fill in that spot.
Oh.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why I said that it is from the two sides. So what me I will advise for the PR and media companies to do is, there are so many upcoming artists there. Begin to reach out to those ones. Help those ones. And let me tell you what will happen. Those big ones, they will run back. You know why? Because they are going to lose their spot. As I speak to you, something familiar like that is happening in Nigeria. The new school, the new Gen Z artists are taking over all the old spots. The big artists, we are just looking at them on Instagram, like Lukosi. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's much more difficult for them. You don't be like before. Now the market is open. If you are talented as a young artist, you will get your opportunity to shine. because the demand for African music is greater than before. Now, it's high demand, and they are ready to pay premium for it.
Wow.
So, relevant on the home front is very, very essential. If you say you are big outside Ghana, outside Nigeria, outside Africa, and they know they play your music for house, you are doing yourself. Now, if you say you don't lose your street credibility. So whether you like it or not, the radio and the PR and the TV, they have their power. All they just need to do to update how they do stuff. Open line of communication with them. Ask them, speak to them. If they come, fine. If they don't come, no problem. There are so many thousands of young artists there. Begin to open up opportunities for those ones. Make new stars. Be part of their developmental program so that they can respect you. Some of them believe that they didn't get any respect. They didn't get much respect. And because of that, in their head, they begin to create fights with media. Meanwhile, now themselves, you see how devil they take crash for people's career? You understand what I'm saying? How can you release music and you are not going on radio and TV? You are doing yourself now. How many posting, how many content you want post on social media? People go tired now.
Bankulli,
like I said, these are all the conversations that we should have.
Yeah.
I'm ready to come to Ghana if we set it up properly.
Three Music is also ready to work with you.
People.
Three Music is also ready to work with you. So
100%. Let's set it up. We come there, we invite everybody. Yes, and Small God is my friend. We'll call everybody. You understand? And we tell ourselves the truth. The truth is sweet. It is not bitter.
I love that.
Bankulli, I wanted to ask about because you are a player in the space when it comes to international collaborations. One of the things that have also come up as something we need to look out for is the culture vultures in regards to the export of Afrobeats. Now we've seen some of the other folks in the Western countries looking to either replicate or, join in the craze or in the trend. Afrobeat is barely a decade old. The impact on the global market is surely visible. But the fear of the sound being taken and repurposed into something else that we may not be able to control. Do you think we should be worried about gatekeeping it or allowing people to come in and then, interpret it however they want to interpret it?
You see this question where you ask now, my brother? It's a very heavy question, but I will answer it for you.
Yes, sir.
See, what God has created in Africa, if they try the only thing they can only do is to create an artificial one. It is not the original one. Africa, sometimes we forget what God has given us. Yes. What God has given Africa is sad. You know why they always say sad is because I'm sorry that I will have to call these government people sometimes. Sometimes I don't understand what some of them they do. Then they say to run government is just people here, we build road, we build helicopter, that's all. No. Now there's another angle that has entered that they need to look into. They need to develop. They need to support more. If we talk of support is not to just help them to build. Give them rebate. Like your institution. Now, if you want to bring in equipment for communication, let them give you subsidy so that you can bring it in. You understand? Because at the end of the day, you are developing a part of the business that operates now, that is important, that is essential to the growth of a nation.
Right.
I'll give you an example. Burna Boy performed to a crowd of between 50 to 80,000 people in the UK. It is a stadium. Apart from Burna Boy, what would they say? A Nigeria-born Burna Boy. So how would Nigeria name take enter? Is that not a good PR, a good look for Nigeria?
Yeah, it is.
But what has Nigerian government done to the development of one of the fastest growing music genre in the world? As politicians, they go say, yes, we don't do this. What thing you do? During coronavirus, where boys they die, where they won't die finish, you support them. One thing we should also realize is that young kids, when they are looking for help, if you do not help them, if they help themselves, and you can't come back saying you won't come from elder, they won't respect you. No, look at it now.
True.
If you talk about Ghana music today, you will mention Sarkodie, you will mention King Promise, you will mention Kiddy, you will mention Stoneboy, you will mention so many of them like that. What has the government done? Say, okay, come. What you need things say your industry need to develop. Why can't they create or build a music station or music hub where people can go and do their creativity there to support that industry? But they will not do it. They will be chasing shadows. Where are the investors, the private investors to do it? They don't go there. So if the Oyibo man can't carry money, can't come now, can't develop this, he go say make it no move. You understand? You see how we recolonize ourselves in Africa?
Yeah.
They will come now. Oyibo man will come now because then they do business now. Maybe they come to Ghana now in the name of say that they do 400 years slave or whatever. They enter now. Then they bring dollar now. I'm not saying that they should not come, but infrastructure is needed. Infrastructures to develop that entertainment industry. You know, it's easy now. Maybe you run a station, you see all the challenges that is there. You understand? So, I mean, when we say government, nobody is relying on government, but they should create those enabling environments so that all these people will go come from abroad and who take advantage of things, of finance. You look at the finance institution. Are you telling me there are no investors in Ghana? Not be only to they build house, all of them they build. And they will call one house $2 million. How many people they buy them? The people they buy them, they contribute money, build correct thing.
Bankulli. Charlie.
I mean, this thing will touch all of us. It will touch everybody now.
Yeah.
Because if they don't do one, those vultures when you go come, you cannot stop them. It's already happening here in Nigeria. People are signing their life away in the name of looking for fame. But it's survival of the fittest. It's music business at the end of the day.
Let me
Can you blame the businessman that want to take advantage? You can't.
Only let me drop one last question for us. We've taken a lot of your time. But just one more question before we go.
I'm only curious to find out what the market is like for Ghanaian music and how we have taken advantage of, the ceiling that our Nigerian brothers and sisters have broken. You mentioned some notable names like the King Promises and the Stone Boys who are doing well in their own capacity. But what more could be done? Is this something that has to do with our business acumen? Is this something that has to do with our relationships? Is this something that has to do with our networking? Because it's believed that Nigerians are known to be very aggressive and they are go-getters, And Nigeria does not mind, no matter who he is in government or in social conversations, he will step up and make that connection. It's not that much of a conversation when it comes to us. We kind of like look down on that. What do you think, is the missing ingredients? Because you are doing great music for sure. We are pushing the borders for sure. But what do you think is the missing ingredients to really, elevate the music of Ghana and make it great again?
I think what needs to be done, some of it is happening now, but we need more of it to happen. We need more Ghanaian artists to interact with. Example, you start with your neighbor, Nigeria.
Collaborations.
In Nigeria, nobody King Promise as a Ghanaian artist. Let me tell you now. King Promise is always, yes. I still saw him 1.5 weeks ago. He quickly went for Ghana Music Award. He came back again. Nobody they look in Promise as Ghana. In Nigeria, no, Nigerians do not look at that, If then they see you and they like you, they don't accept you. Hamido is a Nigerian. He's not a Ghanaian. Oh, making a dead here. Hamido not be Ghanaian, no. Because he's always here. He don't interact with the streets. Yes. King Promise came. I drove down from my own place to go and say hello to him. If he's not a good person, then why will I go there? You understand what I'm saying? And Sarkodie too. Sarkodie had a collaboration with Oxlade. I introduced the two of them together. Look at Oxlade now; he's getting big. Sarkodie getting bigger. You understand what I'm saying? So we need the only way, the crude oil of the business now is collaboration. Collaboration is like the only major crude oil in the music industry now. You got to continue to interact, collaborate. And the more you do that, the more you will see. Because Nigeria has population. Nigeria has over 2.
Okay, I think we just had an connectivity issue.
He was about to drop that bomb. Me.
But anyway, we'll just put that off screen for now. Yeah. And it's been a great conversation, I must say. Very great conversation. Good insights.
I've seen today as a big, massive, powerful lecture, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was a mistake.
Yeah.
I think this will improve the health of our men in the music industry. Yes.
Since
as
men,
we
men
are in
the
men's health
music,
awareness
definitely.
month. Yes. Because sometimes the music can get depressing. Like you are doing good
The industry
music,
gets depressing.
and the industry you are doing
music
good
is always nice.
No, I'm saying that you are doing good music, but it's not pushing. But you gotta check within yourself.
On the other hand, too, what I like about the things he said is that this is the posture we have to our music. Like we see it as an alternative job.
Yeah, it's not a business to us.
Where it's not a business to us. Where's the thing has gotten to? I want to encourage all the young artists, the ones that are coming, to start considering how to build good teams around them. Some may complain that they don't have money, but I believe that conversations.
Yeah, conversation.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I also wanted to add that the bit of the songwriting thing, right? It's something that I have been on, especially personally on my personal agenda. That
you write songs as well?
No, not like as in the agenda to collaborate with songwriters. Look, there are some people who may not have the face, they may not have or the looks to be musicians on screen, but they definitely have a good pen.
And those people.
And I'm even talking to our A-list. No, I'm even talking to our A-list artists. You remember when Stonebwoy was here? I asked him that did he consider adding some songwriters, and he was like, "Oh, he's willing, he's open to do that."
That's what I'm saying. Do you know songwriters?
Yes, there are.
Good. I didn't say they are not.
But you see the difference between
they too be another problem.
You see, my point is
you don't know. Listen,
I want to learn. I don't want people to take me out of context. My point is, if you listen to the story Bankulli shared, as well as what Don Jazzy often does on his social media, if you are good, or reach out, right? So to buttress what you are saying, as songwriters, maybe you may not have an access to a Sarkodie, you may not have access to a Stonebwoy, but what could give you an access to them is the songs you put on your social media. If it's covers, how well you are rewriting and making your covers your own and whatnot. A song like People from Lebianca, she just put it out on TikTok, and then boom.
She's one out of over 3 billion people.
That is what I'm saying.
So what we're going to do is we need to take this conversation about how to project songwriters. What they also need to do. I think it would be a very good conversation to have.
We have a lot of them.
We are getting paid on Discover a World of Innovation and a World of Luxury and a world many of us dream of owning. Discover a World of Bang and Olufsen. Serial wants to go and have his breakfast. A particularly true brand in the ever-evolving realm of high-end electronics you might love to own. Locate us. It's on the Atlantic Tower showroom, Liberation Road, I beg your pardon, where each passing day, year and month and year, a variety of drew-worthy new gadgets ranging from home theater, speakers, headphones, TV sets, and soundbar products are released. Bang & Olufsen like no one else. I want to say a very big thank you to the big man Bankulli for giving us such insights into this conversation. It's midweek, it's Wednesday. Have a wonderful day as well. And also, if you're listening to us via Plus FM, keep on listening to the station. We're back here same time tomorrow, 7 to 10 a.m. with Serial and Olele. And we out.